guys that have come through before me that were so great as amateurs, won all these titles, and then they get to the pros and it doesn't happen for them. And I think because there has been so many of those, people automatically expect those guys to fail. He's going to choke. He's going to crumble under pressure. He's a super mini rider. That's all he'll ever be. What makes me not run away from that, I mean, I could easily quit, go enroll myself in high school. Nobody would hear my name again. There would be no more talk on Adam Cianciarulo about how he's going to crumble under pressure. But what it comes down to is I want to win more than any pressure or any one person can influence me. They can't take my will to win away from me. And I think if you don't have that fire inside of you, I don't think you can ever be the best.
Last time on Supercross, Behind the Dream, we took a look at the next generation of the sport. Ryan Villopoto consistently extended his points lead, and Chad Reed suffered 3 broken bones in a crash at San Diego.
This is one of the toughest competitors I know. I mean, it's just such a shame to see that.
In our final episode, Adam Cianciarulo will make his professional Supercross debut at AT&T Stadium. Kevin Windham will struggle with a decision to retire from competition, and the Joe Gibbs Racing Team will continue their fight to win a first Supercross championship.
Unless you had success that year that proved that the bike is the best, you have nothing to back it up. No matter how many ads you run, it all comes down to who won the race.
When I'm on the course and I see a yellow flag come out, I have no idea if it's a guy that really has no business being out on a Supercross track or if it's arguably the best rider in the entire world, because we're all subjected to the same stuff and it can happen in the blink of an eye.
Where I was pushed towards the corporate world, I knew I was going to let my kids follow their passion or their dream. Whatever it is, I was going to get behind them. When Adam found his passion, I did go all in. Big improvement there, but you need to hit your marks every single time. I think you got a little bit more left in the whoops. I'm talking like coming into the whoops, you need this much more.
Adam Cianciarulo signed his first professional contract with Pro Circuit at 14 years old, and over the next 3 years continued his run as the most successful amateur motocross racer in the history of the sport. Now at 17, preparing for his rookie season, the worth of those titles fades amidst the task of transitioning from outdoor motocross to Supercross.
As an amateur, basically what you're trying to do is get on a good team so you can produce results in Supercross, and yet you don't race Supercross. Part of the reason why we don't have those events is because people haven't figured out how to do it yet. Pretty much anybody can ride outdoors. Your local guy that just buys a bike, that's where he's going to go ride an outdoor track. You stick him on a Supercross track, he's never going to want to ride again.
I'm going to have them rebuilt so they're fresh. The best way for him to learn whoops is when they're fresh. Like Ryan's whoops are humongous at his house. When we test next week, I want there to be good whoops to test on, you know?
The whoop section on a Supercross track will often define a rider's career. Multi-time champions like James Stewart, Chad Reed, and Ryan Villopoto are known for their ability amidst these sections of 4-foot-high dirt mounds. The scarcity of riders who thrive in this area is due in part to the fact that the whoops cannot be learned at a low speed.
I mean, you can't go any slower. You barely made the table. Double your speed into the whoops. Double your speed here.
It's the toughest part of the track for sure. When I first started, I would crash in the whoops 6 times a day. So then you're scared of them, and the amount of commitment that it takes to do it, because if you go into them half-hearted, it's not going to work.
And none of that you did is going to cut it. So
Because my stomach hurts and that's the best I have.
okay, you can show your weakness to everybody, because there's going to be plenty of races where you're going to feel you have a stomach ache now.
No, my dad's not going to pull me off, so lap into it every time.
Yeah, you're just gonna go from the front to the back. Here's what I tell you: you're paid to do a job. Man up. Do your job. You don't understand that? No. Well, then you're in the wrong sport. My dad was a company man, 7 days a week. I grew up watching him work. It's just the reality. You know, hard work gets you here. Other than that, you're waiting for luck. Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. I didn't want Adam to have hope his whole life. I wanted him to learn to go out, set a goal, and go achieve it. And that takes hard work. And sometimes you have to be firm and let them know when they get off track. You might as well go through the whoops the right way. But in order to do that, back in the middle of that corner, you would need to be on the gas.
I don't know how much pain.
It doesn't matter how much pain. I feel bad for you. But this is the path you picked. This is it.
My dad is definitely hard, but would I have it any other way? Absolutely not. He's hard because all these years ago, I told him what my goals were, and that was to be the best. Winning is absolutely everything to me. When I go to bed at night, those are the things I'm like, wow, I'm proud of that, and there is no sacrifice that isn't worth that to me.
Those aren't real whoops. So when you're practicing, jumping into the whoops with no gas, which you just did, it's over. You're done.
I mean, I'm doing the best that I can.
Okay, you're not. I know you're not. It's driven by his willingness to learn or his attitude. Some days, wherever we start, you don't have to say a word all day long. He drives his own program, he's his own motivation. He wants to be the best out there. And then some days, for whatever reason, whether he's frustrated or he doesn't like the track or he doesn't like his bike setup, I'll explain to him that your job is to overcome that. There's always going to be something.
It takes an inch and I'm off the bars into the berm, knocked down.
No, I promise you, if you just hold the gas on, it won't happen. Don't let the gas off.
To be the best there is, you have to sacrifice so much. It's me and my dad out here right now in California. My sister doesn't have my dad, and my mom doesn't have my dad for, this month that we're out here. And they've made so many of these sacrifices already. If we don't make this one, it makes all the other sacrifices pretty much all for nothing, because all those sacrifices were to get me to this point, and now this point right now I have to make the best of it. And if I am successful in this sport and I roll over the finish line in 5 years at Las Vegas with the #1 plate in my hand, and my sister's there and my mom's there and my dad's there, I don't think anybody's gonna have any regrets.
To some, the urgency and pressure created by preparing for the most important race of your life with your father may seem unhealthy for a 17-year-old young man. But Adam Cianciarulo is walking the same path that nearly every Supercross legend has walked. Ricky Carmichael, James Stewart, and Ryan Villopoto all entered the pro ranks under the supervision of their father or mother, and they all rode for Mitch Payton.
Where Adam is, he's riding for a great team. He's got great people around him. No, it's not going to be easy, but do I expect him to win? Absolutely.
That was good. You see that?
It's just a waiting game, you're like, okay, when's he going to win? You go back and you do your stats and you look at history. You'd look at RC or James or RV. They were great mini bike guys. They just grew up.
Joe Gibbs has seen success in nearly every sporting discipline he has entered. He won 3 Super Bowls as the coach of the Redskins and 3 NASCAR championships as a team owner. Partnering with Toyota and Yamaha, Joe's son Coy expanded Joe Gibbs Racing to include a Supercross racing division in 2007. Going into their 8th year, they've won 3 Supercross races and finished 2nd in the series in 2012, but they have yet to reach their goal of a championship.
I told the guys in football, if I wanted to, I could be down at Eggs Up Grill. But I chose not to do that. I chose to be here coaching with you guys. For me, I get excited about trying to beat the best people in the world at what we're doing. NASCAR, that's the best people in the world. I come over here, I can't tell you how excited I get. We're still looking for the wins, the person that can come on these bikes for us and get us a championship. We're still looking for that.
We haven't won a championship because we haven't had the right rider. You can't just pay somebody to come. It doesn't work because they want a good team behind them. We got to get out there to show people that our bikes all stay together, and we need to show we're at the top.
Many expected JGR to be a title contender in 2012, when they spent millions hiring 2-time Supercross champion James Stewart. But the 3-year contract would be terminated in less than 6 months. Stewart won the 2nd of his 2 Supercross titles on a Yamaha in 2009. But when Yamaha came out with a new version of their bike in 2010, James crashed out of the series at round 2, and then crashed 11 times in 2011. Throughout his relationship with JGR in 2012, the bike was a constant source of strife.
With James Stewart, we finally hired the guy that we thought was going to put us on top. My own opinion is that he had a confidence issue in the bike to begin with. And I know that because we talked about it before, and he was iffy if he even wanted to ride it. I said, hey, let me just bring our bike down there, and then you decide if you want to ride it. If you don't want to ride it, it's cool. He rode a whole bunch, he liked it. Until we got the first race, he didn't win. And then his confidence just each week just got worse and worse. And we kept testing, thinking, at some point we're gonna change something, he's gonna do well, he's gonna believe in everything we're doing. So we kept driving back and forth to Florida, spent a lot of time. It was actually pretty miserable. It was really hard on the whole team. He wasn't happy, it didn't make us happy. We're all like just sitting here going, why are we doing this?
Stewart left Joe Gibbs Racing with 1 round remaining in the Supercross season, and on record blamed the bike as his reason. Although Davey Millsaps, JGR's other rider at the time, finished second in the series on the same bike, Stewart's early departure created a public relations crisis for JGR and Yamaha.
The reason that we were okay with James Stewart leaving the team was because Davey was doing so well. And I was surprised. It affected us worse than I expected. Guys that want to come here, because then they're thinking, oh, he left, so the bike must not be good.
When they want to go after the bike, as long as it's behind closed doors, I have no problem with it. I think guys make huge mistakes when they say too much in public. It's a sensitive relationship.
While it is impossible to know the true source of Stewart's struggles, most fans appreciate an honest answer over a statement slanted in defense of a corporation. James was not paid a salary the first half of the year when he switched to Suzuki, and after a year of adjusting, he has won 5 races in the 2014 Supercross season.
I like that this protects it, but it almost makes it look too bulky, like it just needs to be maybe rounded up a little bit. If the skid plate's there, it won't let the mud pack under the brake.
Yamaha came out with the new YZ450 in 2014, and JGR has been given the task of proving that bike in the Premier Supercross class. Of their 2 riders, Justin Brayton and Josh Grant, neither were expected to be podium contenders before the season. But top 3 finishes will be the only way to redeem Yamaha's reputation and keep their positions at JGR.
It's not even a grade, it's just, have you won a championship or have you not won a championship? We haven't won a championship. It's a pass-fail. You failed. But this new bike shows a lot of promise.
We have a job to hire the best riders available. Josh Grant and Justin Brayton are the best guys available. We need them to perform for us so we can get sponsors and keep this team running. It's definitely difficult because we're all friends, but I can't hire all my friends if they don't do their job. I just want to see they have the speed, and then we can work on the rest. But they have to show some flashes of something so that we all feel good going into the next year and making our team better and better.
Are you ready to drop the gate in Atlanta? Here we go!
How's it going? Mike, good?
Here again. I don't know. I don't even know what you're doing.
Me?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
This is my 8th year. What is this, like 30 for you?
19.
Before each Supercross season, Kevin Windham would pay a visit to his doctor, Philip G. Paget, to have a physical examination and discuss any concerns Kevin might have before putting his body through another 17 rounds of Supercross racing. Dr. Paget has been working with Windham for much of Kevin's career and oversaw the recovery of most of his injuries.
Our advice to you was more of a scientific advice. Hey, this is what you got and this is what you could have.
I mean, do I still have to worry about those concerns with my history? Can there be an onset of something coming?
I think that you're going to be fine. I mean, I can't say for sure.
From the physicals that you do before the season to conversations with doctors about knees breaking down, the ankles breaking down, to every piece of hardware that I have in my body hurts and aches, and then some of the more severe crashes, with outcomes that we, really don't like to talk about. All that is put into an equation, and then at some point it becomes less about money, right? Like, it becomes more about, I'm passionate about what I do and I love it and I enjoy it and it's just so much fun. But man, I could get hurt, but man, I have 4 kids, but now I'm 35.
Take away a motorcycle from Kevin Windham, that's just like taking his life from him.
Still number 14, it is Kevin Windham.
After achieving his 200th career start in 2012, Kevin Windham hoped to retire in 2014, the number 14 being his racing number, and 2014 would be his 20th year riding Supercross.
Kevin had started saying, it's not about if I'm going to crash, it's about when and how hard. He did have this really hard crash in Houston.
Can he make a shot? Oh, Windham over the bars!
He had knocked himself out at the Monster Cup October 2012, and the Supercross season 2013, it started off with a big question in his mind. When do you get out?
Are you going to 14? I don't think so.
All right, go have fun.
He really didn't want to go out there and finish 10th every weekend. He wanted to achieve the big win every race. He would get anxiety to try to do better. Nothing was really jiving anymore. Nothing really felt comfortable as far as a different rhythm section.
A Supercross racer's speed is determined largely by the choices he makes on sections of multiple jumps known as a rhythm section. The number of jump peaks cleared categorizes a maneuver as a single, double, triple, or quad. And as the distance in the air increases, so does a rider's speed and level of risk. Not every track contains a rhythm section that a rider can quad. But in the first 3 rounds of the 2013 Supercross season, most competitive riders were quadding at least one section on the track.
It's not that he's scared to hit any one thing, it's that he is scared for doing it at a race speed, doing it at the level that he was doing it and that we're doing it at.
I remember at Phoenix, the quad, somebody on the pro circuit team crashed really, really hard. I got to the track and I was just like, I don't want to jump this. I'm not going to do it. People that crashed by me and I rode by them and I looked at them laying on the track in 1996. I was like, whenever they get up, we're going to go back to gripping it and ripping it. Like, I got to get fast time in this practice. But then later it's like, man, I really don't even want to finish this practice. I just want to go back to the truck and decompress. You just get those tugs and those feelings that, quite frankly, are just hard to overcome. When you go to a track and you're thinking about anything less than beating the best in the world, you're not really going to be there. And I think open yourself up to your fears.
Anna, where you going, baby?
Oh, man, one more donut. I need you to go brush your teeth, and when you get done with that, then we can color. Okay, that was fast enough. Now go brush your teeth and come back to it. Go.
Say that color.
I'll save it right here.
In Kevin's case, it had to do with the responsibility of what he had. A beautiful wife, 4 kids, mortgage. Hey man, it's okay for you to go out on top. It's okay for you to retire from this sport.
After first practice Anaheim, I came back to the truck and he was in his street clothes and he said, you do know I'm in my street clothes? I said, yeah, I see that. And he said, I don't think I can do this anymore.
If I would have gotten hurt on a level where something really major would have happened to me, I would have felt like, why the hell was I so greedy that I kept racing to the point where I didn't know when enough was enough.
What is there left for KW to do with his career?
The hardest part of all, and that's going to be to hang the boots up. It's been such an amazing ride. This is my opportunity to step away with health and stand here and thank all the fans that have made my career so special. With so much regret, today's the day that I step away.
Supercross has given me everything. It's defined me, it's molded me. I was the top 1% of the 1%. I was able to succeed at something that I was passionate about, that I loved, that I really enjoyed. I affected people's lives. I like to think a positive way. I made a great living and I don't feel like I really took advantage of anybody along the way. It's hard to understand what good for children. I'm not proud to be a high school dropout, but I'm proud to be where I am. It's hard for me to come up with anything that I am that didn't at some point revolve around a motorcycle and Supercross.
Most riders find it a struggle to maintain a good relationship with their sponsors and fans while training during the week and attempting to stay focused on race day. Wyndham's relationship with one of his sponsors has allowed him to become the franchise owner of several Planet Fitness health clubs, and his relationship with his team and fans has given him the opportunity to continue performing at the Supercross opening ceremonies, as well as advising the riders coming in to take his place.
There's guys who enjoy the winning, and if they're not winning, they hate everything. I was there. I almost retired in 2002 when I broke my femur. I mean, that was almost a crash that knocked me out forever, and at that point, I really didn't enjoy the process. If I can encourage people to get over that hump, it's really rewarding. Past my motorcycle life, I'm really just trying to fill my plate. I want to prove I can be successful in something besides racing. It also takes the eye off the ball of the pain and the misery and the depression of not being able to perform at what you really feel like was your calling.
I mean, I would say it was fair for everybody to say that I was going to come in the season with a win. Everything was going really well in the off-season, and me and Rhino were working hard.
I bicycle with him. I go into the gym. I have other riders come out and train, and he smashes them.
Dean Wilson entered the 2014 West Coast 250 Supercross Championship, a 4-year veteran with 7 wins, and expected by most to dominate the series. A Supercross title in the 250 class was the only thing missing from his list of accomplishments before starting the search for a contract to race in the Premier 450 class.
Look at how much faster the leaders are. They have now gapped Wilson by 11 seconds.
What did I do? Hey. Like, what? I don't know what to do. I was just really struggling with my arms tightening up really bad. I could not hang on to the handlebars. Lap 6, it was happening to me, you know, and we got a 15-lap race to do.
He had arm pump after the first.
Yeah, he has arm pump all the time.
While racing a motorcycle, such intense strain is placed on a person's forearms that muscles require a constant rapid flow of blood containing oxygen. Arm pump occurs when this constant increase in new blood builds so much pressure within a muscle that the old acidic blood is unable to leave.
I would go to the main event and sit on the starting line, and in my head, I knew I couldn't do 15 laps because I just knew my arms weren't going to take it.
Osborne's into third around Wilson. Mitch Payton will give you one for a week ago. He's not going to like that one tonight.
Yeah, I expect a little more aggression from Dean there.
Doesn't matter how fit you are, how fast you are. If you get arm pump, you're done. You cannot ride a motorcycle to your true potential. Impossible. I would much rather ride with something hurt than arm pump because I can go through the pain, no problem. But when I can't control my motorcycle, feel my motorcycle, pull in my controls, it's a whole different level.
After visiting doctors regarding his ailment for weeks, it seemed Wilson had found a solution at round 4 in Oakland. His practice lap times were the fastest of both the 250 class and Premier 450 class riders, a fact that his trainer Ryan Hughes reinforced throughout the day.
Nobody is faster than you. Nobody. It's not going to happen. You will not allow it today. Somebody that's struggling a little bit might need a little bit of, yeah, dude, remember, you are one of the fastest. You are one of the best riders. You have to remember that. This is your night. Remember that and keep telling yourself that. Okay, bud? This is your gig. This is your day. This is a very egotistical sport. You have to have a big ego because you have to trust in yourself so much to do what we do.
Here we go. 250 Maine. Wilson trying to get the whole shot.
His teammates on the inside gonna take it away.
Wilson tries to get around the outside, but it's Hill with the early lead now.
Dean Wilson, he is on the move. Notice he's starting to pressure Anderson.
Dean Wilson goes for second.
Dean's gonna have to check up here, and he does.
And Anderson finds himself in third. Now Dean goes after his teammate.
Get him pull away. Yeah, come on. Yes, yes, yes.
Hey, 1 lap to go. Is this the night that Wilson is back on top of the ball?
Oh, no! He has a huge problem. And there goes Anderson.
What? What? Are you kidding me? Oh, my God.
Boy, the pro circuit guys cannot buy a break this year.
Just lining off the double, and I was wide open, and there was nothing there. People have their opinions like I stalled it, but I don't know how you're going to stall it before a triple.
It was like someone just slapped me across the face. I had to sit down. I was so bummed for the guy, I almost had tears in my eyes because of, just how down he was and just getting battered by people. This sport is ruthless that way. Man, it's not as easy as you think.
Although his mechanical problem pushed him back to second, Wilson had clearly beaten his competitors in Oakland, and that knowledge would help him achieve his first win of the season the following weekend.
Well, what a day this has been for Wilson. He was your fastest qualifier, now on his way to the perfect night.
It took him an extra week to get there. Wilson's got one.
You think I won the championship, I was so happy, like when I crossed that finish line, I just burst into tears. I was seeing some light at the end of the tunnel. I can get this championship. I had so much momentum going.
You are so fast. You looked great.
After his win at round 5, Wilson entered the following race in San Diego, 12 points behind championship leader Jason Anderson. If Wilson won the remaining 4 rounds, he would claim the title.
Dean Wilson comes out with the early lead. If he takes the win, all that momentum goes his way now. Should have won Oakland, did win Anaheim, and if he can win here tonight, in your mind you're thinking, you know what, I really won 3 in a row, didn't I? Oh, Wilson is down. Wilson crashes out of the lead.
This is going to be just devastating. I mean, to even salvage a couple points is going to be really difficult.
This is one you're going to replay over and over and over. How did that happen?
You're off a split second and boom, there goes the whole championship. It's made a silly mistake all on my part.
He is very fast and probably one of the fastest riders in the world, but things just sometimes don't work out.
To be honest, I think it's really going to help me in the long run, and I've really learned a lot from it. For these last Supercrosses, I just want to try and win them all and at least make a statement. You know, what's happened in the past is in the past. I just got to look forward and win races.
In preparation for his rookie 250 Supercross season, Adam Cianciarulo and his father Alan spent a month in California learning Supercross and testing bike settings with Adam's team Pro Circuit. They then traveled to Claremont, Florida to endure Alden Baker's 6-week boot camp with 3-time defending Supercross champion Ryan Villapoto and Premier Class rookie Ken Roxon.
When I look at you Stenians, hey, this looks like a limp string bean, like nothing there.
I think it's the shoulders. That's Eldon's fault.
He is a young kid. I mean, gosh, he's just barely going through puberty in a way, you know, and he's kind of gawky.
There's a lot of reports out there saying you need a bulk up. We want to prove that you're at least doing something to get to that bulk.
There can't be any leniency. There can't be any sort of, well, you're young, you got plenty of time. To me, that's not acceptable.
He's got a great team backing him, which great team comes a lot of pressure. As an amateur, you don't really do any testing. You just kind of find what works and you go racing. And now you have to test this, test that. As a rookie, that gets really confusing. You don't even know what you want. I never had the cloud that he has around him. He has a lot of expectations coming in. It's a little bit of a bummer on that side because it's only going to make it worse for him. But he's here every day with us riding. He is getting better.
Those bumps now are slowing you way down. Like, you need speed to get around that turn all the way through. Like, you've got to get rid of those habits.
Throughout Adam's 15-year amateur racing career, his father Alan has played the role of coach and motivator. But now that Adam is turning pro, Alan hopes Baker is the right candidate to take responsibility for Adam's daily preparation.
I take it on my shoulders to keep him as safe as I possibly can, and I don't think that would happen anywhere else. For me, I put my life just to the side. We made a decision early on that my daughter wasn't going to live Adam's life, and we weren't going to drag her around the country in a motorhome. She was going to follow her own passion. It's hard on a marriage, obviously, to be separate for this amount of time. It's been as long as 3 months before. As soon as he's able to maintain himself and his program around him, and the people that are around him are solid and we believe in them, then that's when I can take another step back. I don't understand how we're allowing him to enter the corner that slow. But when Eldon's out there and he has, 3 riders to watch, there's times where Adam, he's going to take the easy way, especially when he's tired. Well, it's going to be hard for Eldon to always catch that. You're not going to be a top 3 rider with the way you're riding. I'm not criticizing, I'm telling you where you're at.
Well, you're telling me that I suck. It's hard because I want him to tell me the truth when I do stuff wrong. I know that he's never going to lie to me. Sometimes even I'll argue back. I know it's exactly what he's saying, but I'm just like, I can't sit here and take the truth.
Now that Adam is growing up, finding his own way, and kind of putting up his fist as a normal teenager does start to do, you got to find that balance where you don't snuff that out, but the respect factor is still there.
How come if I go to a corner, you do the corner right, and if I walk away from it, you go back to doing it?
Because it makes me focus on that specific corner.
That's a good answer.
Intended to be the proving ground of younger riders, the 250 Supercross class is divided into 2 8-round championships, one on the West Coast and one on the East Coast. as it was becoming clear that Dean Wilson would not be able to deliver Mitch Payton a title on the West Coast. Expectations began to build on Adam and his teammates as they prepared to race the East Coast Series.
The big league to amateur is a whole different ballgame. It's a dog-eat-dog deal out there. And if you're not prepared to jump in there and embrace that, then you got to get out. AC is one of the youngest to ever jump in the deep end, and his results as an amateur got him a good team. So now he has to take that to the next level. In this industry, you're only given a couple chances to make that work.
Adam Cianciarulo is beginning his professional Supercross career at round 1 of the East Coast 250 Supercross Championship at AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas.
When you go for a fast lap, you look solid. That one fast lap, you cased like everything. You never had your rhythm.
The biggest thing that stood out to me that he's taught me is no matter what the situation is, whether it's tough, easy, bad, doesn't look like you're going to get out of it, go into it with a good attitude and with an open mind.
Adam's main competition will likely come from his teammates, Martin Davalos and Blake Baggett. Davalos set the fastest lap time in practice, and Adam was 1/10 of a second behind him, a fact that will give confidence to Martin and leave Adam searching for the speed he is lacking.
Yeah, the 10th is definitely in the whoops. You're off in the whoops. His improvement since December has been noticeable. I was more hoping that he would qualify in the top 5. I'm happy to have second. It's good for me to see him disappointed and getting second. He wanted that other 10th. He wanted the top spot.
Round 7 of the 2014 Monster Energy AMA Supercross is underway in Arlington, Texas.
Nice and smooth. Hit your marks and only worry about you, brother.
Just like they do in college baseball or football, you know, like they all start talking about one guy and that's the guy, that's the guy. And then all of a sudden he gets in there. The best college player playing against the best professional can wipe the shine off that a little bit, and then it's what that kid does with it.
The focus of Adam's attention will now be directed towards a 6-lap heat race. A top finish will be necessary to qualify for the main event, receive a top gate choice on the starting line, and forget his shortcoming in practice.
Baggett, Cianciarulo right there with him on the 46, and Adam goes to the lead. Heat number 1 for the 2 to go, and Adam bobbles.
All right, it's all right. A little bit of a mistake, you got it.
Here we come, checkered flag, and Adam Cianciarulo makes a great debut.
What do you feel, dude? How do you start off like that? Bad boy. It's just a heat race, but you know how many guys wanted to win that heat race?
Well, Adam, you were one of the most accomplished amateurs all those years growing up. What's it like finally to be on the main stage?
The pressure's good. The pressure's a tool. Those people that win races, can they handle the pressure? Some guys can win 1, and then the pressure of winning 2, they can't handle that, and they start to fold. He's had to win 1 race, the next race, and it's constant pressure for him.
It's just funny, we're talking about going into my first Supercross race, and I can remember years and years ago just watching Jeremy McGrath and watching Supercross races, only dreaming of getting to this point. You would never think that I was going to be one of those guys racing Supercross.
Everything around you is the very best. You have the best trainer, you ride with the best people, you're on the best team. You're the difference.
Everybody looks at James Stewart. He came into Anaheim blazing fast. That's how James Stewart's remembered. Your legacy is defined right now.
250 East Championship, round number 1. It begins in Arlington. And Adam Cianciarulo goes right to the front, gets the whole shot. Davalos coming after him, looking to get that win, and Baggett watching. Here goes Davalos. Whoa! Adam Cianciarulo comes down, falling hard out of the sky.
God, he came up so short.
Stuff on the ankles and wrists.
Especially at this track. Not sure what happened. Maybe lost a little traction coming out of that corner.
Adam taking a look over his shoulder to find out where his teammate Blake Baggett is. So he's thinking about something other than riding his own laps. And it's Davalos that has the clear track.
Oh, and right over the bar! Oh, that was huge. Davalos goes down. And guess who's back out front?
Adam Cianciarulo, the rookie.
Here comes Baggett making a run. And the 4 is there.
Come on, Mike. Come on.
But Cianciarulo wants it right back.
fine, we're fine.
Cianciarulo takes a look over his shoulder to see where Baggett's at because he's got enough of a gap right there where you're not going to really hear him.
Playing to the whoops. Nice and smooth. Nice and smooth. Oh my God! Oh my God! Let's go! Let's go! Let's go! Kenny and Ryan.
And Ryan Villapoto comes out, as does Ken Roxon, to congratulate their training partner.
Good kid. Dude. I can't believe I won.
The sport definitely requires sacrifices, but in the end, there's no greater feeling than winning and coming across the line, getting on the podium, and there's nothing that can take that away from you. You have that feeling for the rest of your life.
He's crying, man. Yeah, he's crying. I had goals as a kid that I never achieved. You know, he set a plan for himself, and he's achieved it every step of the way. What he sacrifices to reach his goal amazes me, because it's something that I wouldn't have done.
So obviously, I love my dad, and you guys see him at the track, and that's pretty much all you guys see, but there's such another side to it. And it is the coach at the track and the dad at home. That's one of his best qualities to me, is the fact that he's been able to separate it so well. And even though we fight sometimes and get frustrated, we really trust each other and obviously love each other very much.
Been feeling a little better since I've been doing this. The additional 20 pounds I put on since I quit racing is starting to wear on me.
We're not really training for anything. We're just trying to not get old and fat. The need for winning that most athletes have doesn't ever go away. I think it's an ongoing thing. You'll always feel like, you know, should I be out there?
The only thing that I really feel like I missed out on was just a big bike championship. I'm the king at second. That's just water under the bridge and something that I just have to deal with. I am who I am. I was who I was, did the best I could, but I hang my hat on the fact that I have things that other riders didn't achieve or could not have possibly got to. You gotta find the good in all this stuff, right? Otherwise you just go nuts.
One of the most memorable parts of Kevin Windham's career is his famous transfer jumps, and he was hired to continue performing them at the opening ceremonies at each Supercross race. This technical maneuver consists of jumping a section of the track that is not the intended path, transferring from one side of the track to another.
The intensity's up a little bit because 70 and 80 feet don't really cut it anymore. Most of these transfers that I'm doing are third gear on a 450, which brings you well into 100 feet range, and some of that can sometimes get stressful because I don't ride as much as I used to.
He has really opened his life up to all his fans. I mean, there's really nothing that he hides. There's been, you know, a lot of downs. He's real in his conversations.
I really want to be someone that any parent can be like, man, I want my kid to look up to that guy. I want people to come talk to me and be like they are to Kevin. You know, everyone can relate to that guy. And that's something that I admire.
Probably one of the most memorable parts of the career was the fact that I was a kid's wish from the Make-A-Wish Foundation. I mean, when you take 70,000 people that have been following your career, they stand on their feet because you're about to do something insane, that's awesome. But when you can affect one person's life to be their final wish, it supersedes anything. I mean, I never won that championship, but I would trade it in for that.
Although Kevin Windham never won a Supercross championship, he may be more powerful than some of the men who have. All Supercross champions are respected, but not all are loved.
If you want to be successful in life, it's a matter of having the right priorities. Should your occupation be number one in your life? I don't think so. I'm probably the worst at times. I slept at the office in football and was totally devoted trying to win. Look back at that right now, just second guess some of that for me. You know, the time I missed away from Coy and JD. I missed a lot of their life. I'll go to my deathbed on that one. Now, I'm trying to stay as close to them as I can. Coy's starting this business. We're working together. Before long, we'd like to just win every race. That's all we want to do.
In 2014, Joe Gibbs Racing set out to prove that the new model of Yamaha is a championship caliber bike and that they have the team in place to win. With 6 top 5 finishes this season and multiple battles with Ryan Villapoto, Ryan Dungey, and Ken Roxon, JGR rider Justin Brayton is having the best year of his career on the new Yamaha, validating the machine, himself, and the team around him.
We just did our work this whole offseason. Everyone at Yamaha, they came out with a new bike. The new bike is unbelievable.
Now I think we've worked our way to a point, build up over the last 5 years. Our resources here are beyond probably what anybody has. Hopefully there's going to be people out there that say, hey look, these guys are here for real. They got a lot of what it takes to win, and I'm going to sign up to go with them.
Toronto, gate drop time.
You watched last weekend. I watched the F1 race. I watched a NASCAR race. Supercross blew them away with excitement. Cincerello blew his arm out, gets off the track, pops it back in, gets back on the motorcycle and rides.
You gotta be kidding
me. And he's going back on the bike.
There's not too many athletes or too many people that can do that.
Despite the fact that Ryan Villapoto crashed at the start of round 9 and showed up to round 12 straight after being treated for food poisoning at the hospital all day, he has finished in the top 6 at every race in 2014. A catastrophe seems to be the only thing capable of stopping his chance to become just the 2nd rider in history to win 4 straight Supercross championships.
With his age right now, I think if he stays healthy and continues to race, his stats will speak that he'll be one of the best all-time riders.
On April 26, 2014, Supercross will be on display at MetLife Stadium in the New York metro area, the birthplace of the American dream over 100 years ago. Increasing television viewers, sold-out venues, a strong young generation, and current champions have placed the sport in its healthiest position ever.
Got to be an excitement about it in order for a sport to grow, in order for you to convince sponsors to come in a sport. I mean, most of the people going to a NASCAR race are older. One of the exciting things I saw about this is the fan base. I saw, first of all, a younger demographic. It's families. Hey, when I go and we're signing autographs, it's kids. I think we go in Dallas, Texas down there, we have 54,000 people. We're going to be in New York, and I think it bodes well for our future. So I see this sport as growing.
Coming up next in most markets, it's a CBS Sports spectacular. Jim Nantz remembers Augusta, Nick Faldo at the Masters.